Each week across my Instagram pages, I post 100+ reels. But to post 100+ reels, I have to study thousands. And I'm constantly asking myself big questions. Is there a specific reel length that guarantees success? Do hashtags even matter? Is there a perfect posting time? Watch closely as many Instagram profiles catch their big break from a single reel going viral. But what do these creators or reels all have in common? They follow these 5 simple steps without fail. And in this video, I will walk you through exactly how this works. No gatekeeping. Let's grow. Audio. Audio plays an absolutely critical role. All of the best reels are using audio the correct way. Every single reel that goes viral, unless it's from a meme page, is usually using audio at the highest level. Matching audio with the theme and the tone. Your goal every time you select an audio should be that it matches the overall tone and vibe of the video. Here are some actionable steps so you can do it. This video right here, Coach Blue, an absolute machine doing some fitness stuff. If we added a calm song to this video, it wouldn't work, would it? But by him adding an energetic song, it literally amplifies the video. And this is a prime example of how this can work. Here we have a calming version where a calm song is best suited for this video. Now, this is something that we really don't think about, and that is basically when we're creating content, a bad habit that I see often with audio is we start creating our videos and adding songs that we like. That is a no-go. The first thing you need to do is think, who am I targeting with this reel? Am I targeting a young person who might like EDM or pop music? Am I targeting a 9-to-5er who lives in England? You know, they might like lo-fi. We need to really establish who we're targeting and what type of audio, music, songs they like, and do it that way. Now, I've spoken about this before in this video right here, and a lot of you have been asking me, you know, what do you mean about editing an audio and putting it on your editing software and then editing to it? Well, basically, it's about editing your video to the actual audio. So this right here is a perfect example of that. Ooh, child, listen. The melody, the beat, everything is kind of in sync with changes in the visuals. And this creates a perfect kind of harmony between the video and the music. How to amplify your videos with sound effects and with emotional music. Now, with sound effects, let's say I'm talking about money. When money appears, you hear a ding or something about money. What happens is psychologically, it will just add an extra element of retention. Sound effects is a great tool, and CapCut, for example, has loads of them built in. Or if you want, I will share some free sound effects in my description or in my Discord somewhere. On the topic of audio, voiceover is also a great way to add depth. Here are some great examples of some audios.
Be curious. You don't have to have all the answers. I'm a hardcore believer that everybody has something.
A Japanese legend once said, "There is an invisible red thread that connects us to those we are destined to meet."
And you can hear how they are connecting emotionally with the audience. You've probably heard some of these voices before, but if you were creating the voiceover yourself, you want to make sure that you use the right tone, that you use the right emotion. If you want to create voiceovers but don't want to use your voice, then you can be using AI. But the issue with AI nowadays is that so many voices have been used so many times. And for us to find a voice which matches our video, whether it's the speed, whether it's the tone, whether it's the emotion, is one of the most difficult tasks. But I'm pleased to announce today that Motion Array have released their new AI voiceover, which is a complete game changer. Using their new AI voice, you'll be able to get voices in multiple different languages, in multiple different emotions, and multiple different speeds. A total game changer for anyone who's serious about AI voiceovers. In a matter of seconds, you can go and select your voice. And one of the things that I've noticed from all of these reels that perform well is when you get the right voice, it makes such a difference. Whether you're educational, whether you're storytelling, whether you're doing a trailer, it's so important. One of my favorite features is how simple it is to actually pick a genre. So I could pick commercial, trailer, and just find my voice in a matter of minutes or even seconds. They have multiple different subscriptions. The link will be in my description. You can get started with just the AI voice, or you can get their everything plan where you get access to their videos templates, their sound effects, their audios, their stock videos, their video presets, editing presets, literally everything. I've been using Motion Array since 2021 and I love it. And for anyone who's serious about creating good content or good reels, you should be using it. Link is in my description. Encourage engagement with audio. You can actually use your audio, yes, your audio, to further get engagement. And we see, for example, a lot of storytelling pages use, make sure you're following us for daily growth, and they'll add that at the end of some of their videos.
If you're not following Crevion, you're probably never going to see us again. If you are, then congratulations, you're growing every day.
And this, you might think is annoying, but it's going to get people to follow, to share. It's going to get people to take action. And this really does help. And the final thing is creating loop with music. And you can see it with this video right here, which is great use of AI. The video just flows so smoothly, which creates a loop. And you can see how they've even used the audio to be part of the story. It all matters. Audio, again, is so underrated. And all of these reels that I've seen that perform well, their audio is tick, boom. Hooks. How could it be a real video without mentioning hooks? Now, before I get into this, if you want some hooks, a whole folder full of different viral hooks, go to my Instagram, make sure you press follow as I'm dropping fire content and being a lot more active on there. Just message me hooks and I will automatically send you a folder with a bunch of hooks. Thank me later. Make sure you drop a like on the video. Now, what is the purpose of a hook? A hook is literally what you might imagine, like Captain Hook, trying to capture someone's attention as soon as they land on the video. So if you followed the steps at the beginning of the video, which is using your thumbnail correctly, you now have a chance to capture them further. They've put their head through the thumbnail. Now you're going to grab them with your Captain Hook. Now, hooks can be complicated, can be easy, but let's jump into how you are going to use hooks properly. The visual hook. Grab attention with an unexpected, eye-catching visual. Something that is really good, for example, for the food niche is showing the end product at the beginning. For this video right here, the person shows their finished meal for the first few seconds, then boom, we're going to show you how to create this. And that is another version of a hook. You can do this in other kind of educational spaces or other spaces as well. You need to just think, are people going to be interested with the final product if I place it at the beginning to watch the rest of the video? It's a good formula. Emotional hooks. Now this is high level. See if you can find a way to tap into your audience, whether it's frustration, whether it's happiness, whether it's joy, whether it's sadness. And as soon as we trigger that, we can connect with that person who is creating that reel.
The path you've chosen is going to be a difficult one. Your new life is going to cost you your old one.
Again, with emotions, you can actually leverage human faces to connect. People are naturally drawn to other humans and faces. That's why you see a lot of motivational pages using famous people right at the beginning. Next up is curiosity-driven hooks. Spark curiosity by teasing information or showing part of the process which viewers want to know more about. Let's say I have an entrepreneurial page. I could start my video with, why are 90% of entrepreneurs failing? That's curiosity driven because you might be in that predicament and therefore you will watch the rest of the video. For this page right here, they showed us this kind of empty room, then boom, the finished product. Again, that's a hook because we're thinking, why is someone creating a video about an empty room? And then suddenly, boom, it's a beautiful place. That is a curiosity-driven hook. Using a provocative statement, being bold or even shocking works. You've been wrong about this your whole life. The viewer is immediately curious, like, Alex, what the hell are you on about? Make sure your curiosity hook is understandable and within the first 2 seconds to prevent confusion. Don't start confusing everyone, just use it to hook, then move into the climax. Captions, again, one of the most underrated aspects of your reel. Now, let's say I go on the Reel Explore. So this button right here next to my profile picture. Now, you will see as we scroll that the top line of the caption is always visible. And over 50% of people who are scrolling through here glance at this top line. If this top line says, follow me for more, you're not really helping anyone or yourself get more views. Do this. Keep it short and punchy. Your first line should be concise yet compelling. You need to see this. This changes everything. Ask a question. Ever wondered why your biceps aren't working? Ever wondered why you can't pass 200 views? Ever wondered why you still haven't liked this video? It's all about getting into the person's mind to actually stop them scrolling. Here we have a great example. You are that person. Question mark. Now you can see straight away from the responses, everyone is responding to that question. That question not only has helped them get more views, but has actually increased their engagement. Again, we're sleeping on captions, we're not using it properly. The gateway to your reels, thumbnails. One of the most underrated aspects of reels and often forgotten is the thumbnail. The way I always like to think about my thumbnails is it's like a shop window. If I'm walking down a busy high street and I look at a shop's window, if the shop window is appealing and it's captivating me, I'm going to enter the shop. But if the shop window is got newspaper, it's just not appealing, I'm never going to enter. And reels are exactly the same. When you actually go to your reel and you press next and you can press edit cover, you have 2 different options here. You can add a custom thumbnail directly from your camera roll. So you can prep a thumbnail, or you can pick a thumbnail from your video by sliding this along. And by pressing the profile grid, you can see how it's going to look on your profile. So here you can actually manipulate it a bit more by zooming in, moving up, etc. But now let's explore the mistakes, how to fix them, and an action plan for you. Blurry or low quality thumbnails. Now, let's look at this page right here, sunflower_ops. Now, let's actually look at reels. The mistake is using a frame or a moment in the video which is blurry. And here you can see a perfect example of this, that out of kind of all of this batch of reels right here, this one has the lowest amount of views, which is not what we want. Let's look at this page right here, which does the opposite. This page right here, 492,000 followers, Joe and Baran. And you can see from me pressing their reels right here, let's scroll down a bit. You can see a bunch of different kind of view ranges, 94, 1 million, 100, 200, etc. Now, what are kind of the differences between this section right here? You can see the one with 1.1 million is that the image is super sharp and clear compared to other images in this video. And you can see the difference right here with the fact that this kind of daisy is super kind of 4K high quality, making us want to press it or making us understand what the video is about, as opposed to other thumbnails which maybe aren't so clear, especially compared to the blurry one with the sunflowers. Now, the next thing is mismatched thumbnail and content. And the mistake in this is basically not having your thumbnail match the context of the reel. So for example, a random example of this could be that you on your thumbnail have a smoothie, a strawberry and banana smoothie, but you press the video and it's a guy doing a biceps workout. Those are completely off topic, and people who press the video are not going to want to carry on watching it. So making sure that these two align is going to actually make sure that your reel performs really well, as we'll be talking about retention, and retention is such an important aspect of Instagram. The next mistake is poorly aligned text or poor use of text. So you can see right here that their text is essentially all over the place, and a lot of the time it's not actually clear what the video is about. What we want to use text is to again emphasize what the video is about, but not to put too much text. Here is a perfect example of how to use text in your thumbnail. Now, thumbnails. Where are we going to actually see the thumbnails? on the explore page. When you go on your explore page, you are essentially seeing everyone's thumbnails. You're going to be competing with everyone else in your niche who is trying to stand out and get more views. That's why it's super important for you to actually train your explore page to show you what your user might be seeing. And then when you're picking your thumbnails, visualizing, okay, they're going to see my thumbnail in a space like this. How can I stand out? That's how the best marketers on Instagram get people time and time again. Checkpoint number 3, the visuals. If you are able to connect with your audience emotionally, you are going to make more money. You are going to get more views. So for example, let's say relatable moments. You want to include situations, emotions, experiences that your audience could be experiencing or have been in before. This video right here does a great job in that.
Hey, in case nobody's asked you this today, are you okay?
Doesn't need to be the most complex CGI, out there, or AI. Simple, effective, emotional storytelling, which builds relatability between you, the creator, and the audience. This reel right here by Nathan is insane.
I want to thank me for...
It's like a mini movie, like he's added it emotionally, the struggle, there's quick edits. The fact that the clips are changing so often, it keeps us retained. We want to see what's going to happen next. And again, the final thing, we've discussed audio already, but using music to amplify these emotions, this relatability, again, is going to take everything to another level. Every checklist point I've made in this video, it's not about doing thumbnails and suddenly everything changes. No, it's about understanding the whole checklist point, like where can I improve right now as a creator? By us adding the audio, by us improving the thumbnails, understanding the visuals, it's going to really build a process for us which is unique and allow us to be top creators. Maintaining visual consistency is important. A lot of pages, they don't post random, changing constantly the different styles. It's important for you to have an identity. So when it comes to your visuals, think about what you're trying to build. And you can see from this page right here, they've added this effect, which kind of looks nostalgic, and makes a big difference. This is what they're going for. It's consistent on their page and looks really, really good. And it's not too complicated, but it's the idea behind it. And again, this can be applied to text. If you have a certain text style, being consistent, using it to your advantage to enhance your video consistently is going to make a big difference. And here we can see that again in action. The text in this case is small, makes us have to concentrate. And again, it works for this page. Keep pacing tight. This is super important and a key strategy that most high-end creators are using. Avoid slow moments that can use the viewer's attention. Pacing should be quick and snappy. This is social media. It's a fast-paced environment. People have a low retention span. We need to capitalize on that. Here are the actionable steps. Fast cuts. Switch between scenes quickly. Cut any unnecessary footage. Aim for a new visual every 1, 2, 3 seconds. Yup. Try to keep clips short. If you are telling a story, obviously it's going to be long, but the shorter you can keep the story, the higher the retention is going to be. So shortness should always be at the front of your mind. When you tie everything in, the emotional hooks, the right caption, the right thumbnail, the right audio, this all ties into one package. This is exactly what I mean. This is your reel. Your reel is made up of these 5 key elements. And if you're able to understand these 5 key elements, your reel will go from a basic reel to a well-formed package. And that was the goal of this video, to give you the tools, the insight that you need to really do well on Instagram with no gatekeeping. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like. I grew an Instagram page from 0 to 50,000 in 1 month. And I recorded a video going through everything. No gatekeeping. Again, the video is right here and I highly recommend it. But if you want to understand more about editing or Instagram, I have these great playlists as well. Don't go anywhere. Let's grow.